Hey everyone, it's Chris, aka Big C, and today, well, it's actually January 3rd of 2022, and usually what I do at the end of the year is I do typically a Facebook post on my personal Facebook to kind of reflect on everything that's happened throughout the past year. And I thought about doing that again, but in all honesty, I wanted to do it in video form this time just because I figure it's a way for me to more accurately kind of share how I'm feeling as opposed to just writing, because that's the thing with any text-based thing, it's hard to show a particular type of emotion with that. Whereas if I'm speaking to you, you can see my face, you can hear my voice, how I feel about things. So I figured this would be more interesting way of doing this. I also figure it's kind of scary at the same time to be doing it this way, because obviously everything that I say is on film basically. So I also wanted to mention that yes, you will notice, obviously I'm going to be saying a lot more uhs, you'll notice some spaces. I'm not editing any of this video, so everything that I say here is one take, one thought. So just expect there to be some, normal, not glitches, but like things that you don't normally see in my videos because I typically edit them out. You'll see them in this one because I wanted to make this kind of as raw as possible. So there you go. So 2021 for me was not good. In fact, I would say 2021 was probably the worst year I've ever had. And it was for a number of reasons. First off, I dealt with a lot of health problems. And most of them are relating to my feet, but I've dealt with other stuff too. Now, if you're not already aware, which I'm sure a lot of you are, but if you're not already aware, in 2020, when I came back to work from our forced hiatus, I was having a lot of problems with my feet, my knees, and my back. And I think part of that is just the fact that we didn't do a lot of exercise or a lot of movement. Because, we were stuck in the house for months. So I kind of just stayed at home, sat down, played games, or watched videos or whatever. So I didn't do a lot of walking around, which I really should have, and a lot of people did, and that was a mistake of mine. But after we came back, I was having a lot of issues with my feet and my back. And I thought it might just be being out of practice, but it kept persisting. So I went to the doctor in early 2021 and found out that I have tendonitis in both of my feet and plantar fasciitis in my right foot, which those are both tendon-related problems. And they're not fun. They're also not something that will go away particularly easily, so I kind of just have to deal with them. And essentially what happens is my feet just get really sore after standing on them for a while. They also get really sore if I don't walk around or stand on them for a long period of time. So like when I wake up every morning, my feet are very stiff and very sore because I was sleeping for 8 hours or around 8 hours. So they hurt a lot. And then the plantar fasciitis, it just makes my right foot hurt more than my left foot. My left foot isn't that bad most of the time, but my right foot can get really, really sore. So they basically gave me like some exercises I can do, told me to do like hot cold therapy, stuff like that. And I've done that. It hasn't helped a lot. I also took some time off in early 2021 to attempt to just rest my feet and let them heal. That didn't really do much. So it's kind of just been something I've been dealing with, and it's something I'm going to have to deal with for a while, unfortunately. So I'm just trying to make the most of what I can. And I think I've gotten to the point now where it's becoming a lot more manageable. There are days where my feet, especially if I work during the day, my feet are just killing me. And it sucks because that drains pretty much all my energy because I'm in pain. So I get tired easily. I come home and all I want to do is just sit down and stay off my feet. And that's typically what happens. And I feel that affects me negatively because I'm also someone who likes to go out and do things, and I can't really do that if I'm in pain all the time. So that's been a consistent problem. But I've also had some other medical issues that have popped up. Of course, one of the big ones, which was one of the biggest controversies I've dealt with all year in 2021, was when I got COVID. Now, I got it in August. I was fully vaccinated at the time, and it kind of came out of nowhere. At first, I thought it was just a bad cold, and then it wouldn't go away. And then I started getting symptoms like loss of taste and loss of smell, and then I realized, crap, I know exactly what this is. And that couldn't have come at a worse time because, a few weeks before then, Corey lost his job. So he didn't have any income at the time. And then I didn't have any income for a bare minimum of 2 weeks because I had to be out for 2 weeks due to COVID. And that was really bad. At the time, we were absolutely struggling. Corey was hoping he could get some employment assistance. That never came. I had no backup, honestly, because I've been kind of struggling, working paycheck to paycheck pretty much all year. And a lot of that, again, is because of my feet, where it's been tough to stand on my feet for 8 hours on end. Now, like I said, I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten to the point now where I can basically work a regular schedule. I actually just worked 4 days in a row, and 3 of those were 8-hour shifts. So I think I've gotten to the point where it's manageable. But back then, it was tough to work a full schedule, and my feet were killing me. So I left early when I could to try to give my feet a little extra rest. And because of that, I didn't make a lot of money. So that was tough. But regardless, I had COVID. I got better. And I think it was after I was cleared to go back to work 2 days later, I went to a preview of Ratatouille at Epcot, which I signed up for months ago. And several people were not happy about that because they're like, oh, well, you just had COVID. I'm like, yeah, I was cleared to go back to work and it's been more than 10 days, so I'm good. But yeah, I'm not going to go into that whole situation, but let's just say people tried to get me fired for that. They were not successful. And that further fractured my relationship with people at work. But then Corey also got COVID from me, which I shouldn't have been surprised, but that was kind of expected. Just as he got a new job, so the day he was supposed to start, he found out he got COVID and he was out for 10 days. So August was really terrible because I had no income for 2 weeks. Corey had no income at all. I did get some back pay for the 2 weeks that I was out, and then I had to spend all of it on rent because Corey had no income, so I had to pay all of rent by myself. And I did. He's still working on paying me back, but we survived. And that's the most important thing. Even though all of it was bad, we did survive. And then December was pretty rough because, of course, December is usually my favorite month of the year because it's Christmas time, it's my birthday, everything's great. And right after I came back from my 3 days off from my birthday, I started having a really bad shoulder problem. So my right shoulder was incredibly sore. So I was out of work for 2.5 weeks because of my shoulder. And then later on, it became my back, my right knee, all kinds of stuff. It was really bad. I saw doctors. They didn't really have an answer for me as to what it was. So they gave me some medication and it did help. And I finally was able to go back to work. So that was good. And then literally a week later, I was out again for several days due to my ankle. So I've dealt with a lot of pain over the past year, and it's affected me quite a bit, both from a financial perspective, from a mental perspective, from obviously a health perspective. All of this has been very detrimental, and it sucks because it's one of those things where it's frustrating, but I don't want to let that dominate everything that I do. So as a content creator, obviously, I want to put on a brave face and make the best content that I can for my audience, and because I enjoy making it. And that's what I tried to do for the most part. There were several episodes of this week over the past year that were overtly negative, and people noticed that. And I did want to apologize for that, because I feel that did negatively impact people's enjoyment of the channel and of the series. And that's not what it's about. It's about escapism, but it's also about keeping it real in certain respects. So I'm trying to find that happy medium between being completely honest about what's going on, but also not being overly negative when things aren't going great. But I'll talk about stuff like that on the preview of 2022 for my channels, because I am doing a whole series of videos that are channel previews for 2022. So I'll talk about that stuff elsewhere. This is a reflection of 2021. So there's a lot of bad stuff, a lot of negativity, a lot of things that I am not happy how it turned out. Didn't travel anywhere, didn't make a lot of money, struggled with so many things, physically, mentally, financially. It was a rough year, very, very rough year. But here's the big thing, and I kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier. I survived. And that's something that you really can't take for granted, is the fact that I've gone through a lot over the past year. And every time it seemed incredibly bleak. I didn't even talk about all the stuff we dealt with our apartment complex, with the fire alarm that was going off for several days, and them not paying the bills and almost getting evicted. There were so many things that went wrong this year. But every time, despite everything that happened, we survived. We made it through. It may not have been the way we wanted to, but we did. And I'm thankful for that. And a lot of the reason that I survived everything is support, not only from my family, my close friends, my viewers. Honestly, I got a lot of support from my viewers and fans of the series who reached out and offered their help, whether it's encouragement, suggestions, you name it, people helped with it. And I cannot express how much that means. The fact that, you know, you were willing to help out just some guy you watch videos for on the internet. It really means a lot. It really tells you how much people who make videos and content creators can factor into people's lives, way more than you really think. So I guess in summary, when you think about 2021, obviously this was not a great year for me at all. And in many ways, I kind of want to forget it and not think about it, kind of like 2020. Although honestly, 2020 had some pretty decent moments, which is weird to say. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. And in fact, I'm going to be thankful for, despite everything that I went through, I'm okay. I made it through the year. I have a roof over my head. I still have a job. My health is better. It's definitely not where I should be, but it's a lot better than it was. And things are starting to slowly improve. So I'm thankful that I made it through. I'm thankful that I got support from my close family, my friends, and people who want to reach out and support me on this platform. And that's what counts. So thank you to everybody who helped me out throughout the past year. Your kind words, your words of encouragement, your words of sometimes constructive criticism. Because, I mean, there were several times where I had some issues and people had suggestions, and they were helpful suggestions. So I appreciate constructive criticism. And it means a lot. And it certainly helps out when things are going bad. So, yeah, this was a rough year, but I made it through. I'm still here. And I'm determined that things are going to be better in 2022, because the bar is set so low at this point. It's gotta be better. It did start great because New Year's Eve was not fun, but regardless, thank you to everybody who's been watching the channel over the past year. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who's followed me over the past year. I greatly appreciate it. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers. I was hoping we'd hit it for the end of the year. That didn't quite happen, but that's okay. We're incredibly close. Like, we're less than 160 away from 1,000, and that's going to change a lot of things. Obviously, I'm going to talk about that more when I do my 2022 preview video, so look for that. That's coming out. In fact, I'm going to be doing one on all 3 of my channels. So Thrill Seekers, BigCTV, and BigCTV Plays are all getting one of those. So look for those coming soon. But yeah, I just wanted to share my overall thoughts on 2021 and how it affected me. So thank you for watching. Hope this was enlightening. And like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you who has helped me and who has helped me grow and reached out for help to help me out when I needed it the most, because this was a year where I certainly needed it the most. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.